My name is Nichole Dailey, and I'm a butter addict. What's up? I'm Nichole Dailey, culinary producer and recipe developer here at Traeger, and this is Traeger Kitchen. Today we're going to be making a reverse sear tomahawk steak and a couple of compound butters. So first up, we've got our awesome new Woodridge Pro rolling over here. We're at like 225 with super smoke. We've got hickory pellets in there today for this. Now, I think with this cut, a lot of people can be a little intimidated just because of its size, but really it's just like a ribeye steak with a bone on it. So first thing we're gonna do is season it with the Traeger beef rub. One thing to keep in mind when seasoning with stuff like this, it is a really large cut, so you can go super heavy. It's not gonna be over seasoned, I promise you. Just wanna get it well coated. And as this one is, this rub is kind of on the sweeter end, I like to add a little extra salt to the exterior. We will be finishing it with a little bit of Maldon salt in the end. But again, I promise you, it's not gonna be salty. So you just wanna get it well coated, make sure you're getting all sides. Kind of press it in a little bit. And you can kind of pick it up and use your board to pick up what's left there. And then we're just using a diamond kosher salt. It's my favorite salt personally. But different salts have different textures, so depending on what type of salt you use will dictate how much of it you use. So the other thing we're gonna be using on this today is our meter. This thing is so freaking handy in the kitchen. It's gonna do a lot of the hard work for you. So we're gonna take that guy and you just wanna insert it right into the thickest part. So you can go in the side here to where the point will end up somewhat in the center. And so what this is gonna do is it's gonna measure the internal temperature, the ambient temperature. It's gonna basically like calculate how long you need until this thing is done. It takes into account rest time, so it'll tell you to pull it earlier than your finished temp. As it rests, it'll come up even more, so just keep that in mind. So we'll go ahead and get this on. It's gonna smoke a little over an hour. We wanna bring it up to 100 degrees, and then we're gonna pull it off, increase our temp, and we'll sear it. We'll let that ride and check back in an hour. All right, so our steak internal temperature has come up to 100 degrees, so we're gonna pull it off and increase the temperature on our grill. So while that comes up to 425, we're just gonna set this aside and let it rest. You wanna leave the meter in, don't take it out. So we're gonna start on our butters. We're making 3 different compound butters. And the first one is a cacio pepe butter. Sounds fancier than it is. It's basically a play off of the pasta dish cacio pepe. It's just butter, pecorino, parm, and some black pepper. So we're gonna start with about 4 ounces of butter. And then I like to use a microplane to grate these so that they're really fine. Makes it blend really well. And you can eyeball this, but if you need the amounts, the recipe's in the description. And I've never heard anyone complain about more cheese, so go as heavy as you want.
Nichole, what's the difference between pecorino and Parmesan?
You know, I couldn't tell you, to be completely honest. What is the difference?
What's sheep cheese? Pecorino.
That's right. This one's sheep cheese. They're both delicious, so. I think the pecorino is a little bit like sharper almost, and I love it because it kind of has, it ends up having these like salt crystals in it that you can almost like bite. They're so good. And then just give this one a mix. And you can do these by hand in a bowl like I'm doing this one. These will also last for quite a while in the fridge. So if you make a little extra, hang on to it, do some fun things with it, make a pasta. All right, and you just want to mix that until it's combined. And it's a good amount of pepper. Again, that's kind of the point of a cacio pepe. It's pretty aggressive on the pepper. And move on to butter number 2. Next butter we're gonna make is a bernaise. This is kind of, bernaise is a very classic pairing with steak. It's a play on that, just in a compound butter versus in a sauce. This one, I'm gonna use a little food processor. If you have a little one like this, it's super handy and great. This is just like a stick blender. If you're making a larger amount, you can use a regular food processor or just do it by hand. So this one starts with same amount of butter. Just squish that down in there. And then we've got some lemon. You're gonna do a little bit of the zest and the juice. Again, just eyeball it. I think something acidic is a really great pairing with a really rich fatty steak, especially if you've got something that's like a Wagyu or a prime where there's a lot of marbling. The acid in the lemon really helps cut through that and kind of brighten it up. Okay, we're just gonna do half of this in juice. It wasn't super juicy. We're gonna do both. Another reason I really like the food processor for these is it really helps to emulsify all the liquid into the fat. Now, the classic identifier, I guess you could say, in a bernaise is tarragon. So we're gonna use fresh. You can use dried if you've got it. We're just gonna give this a light chop real quick because it's gonna be blended in here. You don't have to go super fine. Got that in there. And then last thing is some shallot. I'll probably only use half of this. And again, same as the tarragon, I'm just gonna kind of get it started so we don't end up with any big chunks. Shallot, I just cut the same way you cut an onion. It's just smaller onion. We'll get that in there. All right, now this one's ready to go. There we go. Sometimes you have to bang it around a little bit. I think we're there. I did these at home a couple weekends ago, and this one was my husband's favorite. All right. Last one is we're calling it like a steakhouse butter. I don't know. It's kind of fun. It's got some different ingredients in it. One is anchovy paste. This, I think, very similar to like a fish sauce. Super underutilized, and I think people automatically think it's gonna make it fishy. It doesn't. It kind of just provides some of that little bit of salty, some umami. It's really, really great in this, so don't skip it. Unless you have a problem with it, then do whatever you want. We're just gonna do like a teaspoon maybe. So we've got Dijon, just a little bit. Worcestershire. Don't judge me for how I said that. I don't think anyone says it right. I don't either. A clove of garlic. Again, this is gonna get ground up in here, so I'm choosing a big boy because I really like garlic. And for that one, I just like to give it a little smash. Pop it in. We're gonna use the other half of our shallot from the last one. A dash of hot sauce. And I'm gonna keep these, get rid of this. Okay, give this a little chop. Shallot goes in. Lemon again, zest and juice. We're gonna just do half a lemon on this one. The lemon on the bernaise is like a really forward. This one's just kind of supportive. It's not a main flavor. You don't need as much. Last thing is some parsley. And for these ones, the smaller stems, I don't mind so much. The bigger ones I usually get rid of. Give this a little chop. Whoops. If you have cold butter and you need it room temp, a trick I learned from my friend's dad actually, you can put it in the microwave on defrost instead of like full power, it's like partial power. Just do it for like 10 seconds at a time and it softens up pretty good. Okay, wish me luck. Last butter going in. And you certainly don't have to use all of these. I think it's fun to kind of have some options, especially if it's for a special event, little date night. You can even do this for like a larger dinner party, just do multiple tomahawks. Have like a little butter bar for people to use. It's kind of fun. Beautiful. Okay, now that everything is properly greased up, we're gonna go back to our steak. Our grill's up to 425. Again, still got the meter in. Don't take that out yet. We're just gonna throw it back on. We wanna cook this. I have it set for mid-rare. So we're gonna pull it off between 130, 135. We'll pull it a little earlier than that. The 130, 135 is your finished temp. So that's your goal after it's rested. We'll pull it slightly sooner. Let's get it going. All right, we're gonna let that go. Again, it totally depends on the thickness of your steak. This one will probably be 7 to 10 minutes per side. We're gonna flip it halfway through. But again, if you have a smaller steak, it might be a little different. Just trust the meter. My butter accessories?
Yeah.
Oh, these ones? Like these butter socks?
Oh.
I have a little baby ring.
And it's butter?
It's a stick of butter. All right, our steak's looking good, so we're gonna go ahead and give it a quick flip. Okay, we're gonna let that go another 10 minutes or so until it hits about 130. All right, our meter just went off. Our steak has hit temp, so we're gonna take it off and let it rest. She is gorgeous. All right, so you wanna leave the meter in during the rest. It'll let you know when it's rested sufficiently and hit that ideal finished temp. So we're just gonna leave it here and give it a few minutes to rest. Okay, our steak is rested, so we're gonna go ahead and take this out. Now, the best way to carve this guy is to kind of hold it up and you just follow the bone down with your knife. So starting up here, just cut that guy right off. Save this, there's a lot of good stuff on here. You can sit and nibble on it. It's so good. All right. See how we did? This is a great steak for just 2 people. I think you've got just enough to eat with maybe a little bit of leftovers. But again, if you want to do this for a group, just make multiples. You can use multiple meter probes to kind of monitor them if you need to. This looks so good. Beautiful. We're gonna pull our butters over. Put this guy right here. Ooh, gorgeous. It's gonna be my breakfast. I'm gonna take a bite of this part, and I'm gonna go with this Steakhouse butter. It's my favorite one. So freaking good. Last thing I like to finish my steaks with is a little bit of Malden. Again, we seasoned this pretty heavily, but like in that bite that I just had, it's not salty. It kind of carries all the way through. But this is the perfect way to just kind of finish it off and balance it out. This is a really fun, really easy recipe to do. Again, for a date night, a party, you could have a little butter bar. As you know, I love butter. You can find the recipe in the description below. Make sure you like and subscribe and come back next week.